Hi, my name's Laura Batante and this is My 2 Bits. Today we're going to make this really fun little baby chick for spring or Easter or just because. And anyway, he's super simple to make, so let's get started. So the materials for today's project are pretty basic. You're going to need a toilet paper roll, and we're just going to cut that in half. I painted mine yellow, but that's completely optional. You're going to need one orange pipe cleaner. You're going to need just a little tiny bit of cardstock for his wings, the yellow and the orange for his beak, and a couple of googly eyes. You'll also need a hole punch, and then you're going to need the shredded paper. Now, you can shred your own. This sheep over here, I actually hand cut the shred all with just a ruler and a knife. If you have a shredding machine, then I suggest that you throw some recycling through there and use that. That's what I would do. But I have this on hand, and so that's why we're going to use it. Also, it does make it a little easier when you're producing several. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first step is to cut out our template pieces. So this is the beak, and you can see that I have the little shape right here. That's just so that we have room to attach our eyes. They need to adhere to something. And then I cut out 2 of the little wings. So we're going to do that, and we're going to go ahead and glue the eyes on. And I'm going to recommend tacky glue. I do have that in the materials on the sheet. It just sticks a little bit better. You also don't have to hold it as long if you do the tacky glue, so that's nice. So we're just going to pop these down and let them dry. So now we're going to do the legs, and on the sheep we put the holes way at the side, but here on the little chick we're going to put 2 holes quite close together in the front. And you'll notice I have a little hole punch, but a regular hole punch works just fine. So once we get it threaded through, we are going to fold the end of the pipe cleaner down. And I want his foot to be about 2.5 centimeters or an inch. And so what I'm going to do is fold it like an M, but I have left this first fold just a little bit longer so that I can twist it. So that kind of holds the whole little guy together, the whole little foot together there. And then he ends up with this sort of short, cute little foot like that. All right, so same thing again. We're going to go a little bit longer on the front one, and then we're going to make it a little bit smaller for these guys, make ourselves an M, and fold that around. Bend it up, and there we have his 2 little legs. All right, so now comes the fun part. Now, when we did the sheep, we drew a little spot so that we remembered that we need to attach the face. So we'll do the same thing again here. We're going to leave ourselves a little sort of blank area so that we have some room to glue that down. And we're going to attach the wings before we get to the paper. So I'm doing them so that they are opposite. You can see that. And I've bent a little flap so that I have something to glue on. And we are going to attach those a little bit, not right out the sides, but a little bit to the front so that they're a little bit more noticeable once we get all the paper on. On the first little guy that I did, I had them farther back, and I didn't think that you could see them as well. And I'm thinking I'm going to make mine just a hair shorter. I'm going to bend my flap just a bit more. So that's about, I don't know, half an inch. Okay. All right, so we're going to attach that, and then we're going to have to let that dry for just a little bit before we put the shredded paper on, because we don't want the wings falling off. And placement is totally your choice in terms of how high or low you want them. Okay, just before I send you off to start gluing this all down onto your toilet paper roll. I just want to show you that this purchase stuff comes, it's about 3 layers, maybe 4 layers thick. And if you pull it apart, it is so much easier to work with. Plus you'll get more coverage. Now I know what you're saying, Laura, I'm not going to pull apart shredded paper for 20 kids, but just stick this in front of the kids for a few minutes and they'll actually do it themselves. I'm sure they'll have a great time. And then just crunch it all back up. It's easier to work with. It's easier to get for it to adhere like this because it's quite coarse like this, and it is a little bit harder to work with. But that's your call. So that's just a little tip. Try it. Don't try it. Well, this could probably use a little bit more dry time, but I'm ever impatient, so I'm going to go ahead and put some on the inside here because I don't think it will affect his wings in any way. So just pop some glue in there, and we're going to basically just sort of shove a handful of this shredded paper into his top to give him his head. Glue on here. Normally I'm like, oh, don't put too much glue on. In this case, we want lots of glue. And we're going to do a section at a time. And the reason I like the tacky glue is because it'll kind of hold pretty fast. So we're just going to lay some on there. You have to sort of spread it out a little so that it's not just a giant ball. But we are looking for a fluffy chick here, so. And once you feel like you have quite a bit of it in the glue, you're just gonna press and hold it for a bit. A couple seconds just to get it sticking. You can always come back and add more. And you can always trim some off if you need to, so it's pretty flexible. All right, so we're just going to go all the way around and do that, and we're going to leave that area right there. Okay, so hopefully we're all at this point. Honestly, it looks pretty hilarious right now, which I really like. And he's definitely fluffy. So at this point, it's still drying obviously, but you can just go around and see if it needs more somewhere or a bit of a haircut somewhere else. And then we have this little spot right here that we're going to attach the eyes and beak onto. So make sure that it's dry enough that you can sort of manipulate it before you attempt to stick this on. And then the same thing, we're just going to use the tacky glue and attach that and then let it dry, and he's all done. Well, there he is, all done. I think he looks really cute. He's so fun, and I hope you enjoyed making this craft with me. If you did, please consider giving me a like and also subscribing to my channel so that I can keep bringing more videos every week. Thanks very much.